Hello guys and welcome to this intro tutorial. You have been waiting for this for a long time, but now it's here and I'm gonna make a chill intro right in front of your eyes. I'm gonna go over it step by step how to make it, but first, here is the finished product.
A lifetime in repeat.
So the first thing you wanna do is you're gonna wanna extract the WinRAR file to your desktop, and that is just because otherwise Blender can't find the images that it's inside. So these are the background we're gonna be using, and here is a shockwave, letterboxes that we're gonna be animating, and a vignette just to make it a bit nicer. So go ahead and open up Blender. First we're gonna set up our scene. So by default we're gonna press that lamp, gonna remove the lamp, remove the cube, pressing X. And when you have removed both the cube and the lamp, just without moving your view around, just press 1 on the number pad to get into the front view, and press Ctrl-Alt-0 to bring the camera here. Now you have the camera set up, so press Shift A and add a text. R, X, 90 to rotate it by 90 degrees. Then go over to this little text tab over here. And then you just get your font. Yeah, I forgot to show you guys before, but the Optimum font should be here in here as well. So you just press this, go to your desktop, and you go into Intro Tutorial Files and select the Optimum font. Now you can go out of camera view if you like, but I will stay in it. So scroll down a bit, press Center to make sure it is centered, and then press Tab and type your name, suggestively in all caps. Now just set origin to geometry and just bring it down so that the origin is right in the middle of the camera. Now what you can do is you can scale it up to your liking. Something like that would be pretty nice. Now this is when you wanna pan out of the camera view by holding the middle mouse button. And you're gonna extrude up to about 0.5, depending on how big your text is and stuff. Just so like the width of that is about the width of that. You can also use any font you like, but this is the one I prefer. Now set the bevel depth to 0.009. Set the offset to 0 and the resolution to 5. Now press Shift D to duplicate, and just without moving it around, just press the Enter key. Make sure this is selected, and we're gonna set the offset to minus 0.01 and just extrude it a bit more, just like that. Now it's looking pretty good. So now go over to your rendering settings. This is pretty important. Set the frame rate to be 30 FPS and to drag the resolution up to 100%. And also go up here and select that it is a cycles render. And then you're gonna go to what's it called? Film, and press transparent. So that we now have a transparent background. So now we're gonna get the Lightroom. This is my Lightroom that I posted at my 750 sub special, so it will be included in the download file. I'm just gonna import it now. So you press append and you go to wherever you have it. For me, I have it in my download folder. And make sure you take object and get all the light. And there you have the Lightroom. Pretty cool. And that is pretty much the main setup of the scene. Now we're gonna go on with making the materials for the text. So now we're gonna make the materials for the text. We're gonna begin with the side text. The side material, which is gonna be a very metallic look. So go over to the materials section, select new, set this to be a mixed shader, and select them both to be glossy. Set the roughness of them both to about 0.075. Make sure GGX is selected. And for the color, go over to hex, and if you want to use exactly the same color as I did, for this one I'm gonna use E0DAE1, almost white. And for the second I'm gonna use ACA7AC, which is a slightly grayer color. Now expand this timeline section a little bit and select make it into a node editor, and you can zoom up a bit, and you can just make it a bit bigger if you want. Drag one of these glossy nodes to down and one up. Now set add and add a input, and make sure it is layer weight, and take it to facing and set that into the factor. That's pretty much it for the first material. And now for the second, select the other text, select new, mixed shader here too, and make both of them glossy, and make your GGX is selected. And to get my colors that I used, go over to hex, and for this first one I used the 95E75E, which is a green color. And for the other color I used E3E755, which is a yellow color. Now drag the yellow color down and the green color up. Add input layer weight. What this is gonna do is it's gonna be mixing how much of each color depending on where the text faces. So if you just switch this to rendered mode, you can see that from the front you can see that some parts are more yellower and some parts are more green. For example, here is more yellow, but if you rotate it a lot, then most of the text is yellow. That's the same thing with the outside text. But as you can see here, we have a lot of black, even though that we didn't select a black material. Oh, and by the way, make sure to leave the roughness at 0.2 for both of these. So to get rid of these black marks, we're gonna go back to solid view, modifiers tab, and add an edge split modifier on both of the text. So that was one text, and the second text is like that. Now if we take render, now we only have the gray, like metallic look to the text. So that is the materials, and now you can just make this and turn it back into timeline. Now we're gonna make the basic animation of the camera and the text. So press 0 to get into camera view. Now what you want to do is you're gonna wanna animate the text first. So make sure one text is selected and then shift right click the other text so both is selected and both will be affected at the same time. Alright, so now you go to 90, select lock rod scale and press I to get the keyframe. Then go to 92, scale it down a bit and press I again to get that done. Now to make it how it's gonna rotate from the frame 1 to frame 90, you're gonna press R, Z, then just rotate it like that, so it's reversed. And now R, X, and rotate it like this, so it's like reversed, and press I. I don't get a lot of keyframes, I don't get a lot of frames per second right now, but that's how it's gonna look. And a slam spot. Now going to frame 160 and press R, X and rotate it forward one lap and a bit more, like that. And press I again, and go to the last frame, which in this case is gonna be 306. So go to frame 306 and rotate the text on the x-axis a bit back, so it's like leaning a bit back, and then press I again. So this is the basic movement, but we want to make sure that the rotation here is faster in the beginning. So go to around frame 110 and rotate the text a bit more on the x-axis forward to about that position, so that the first couple of times it will be faster. Now we'll only get like 6 FPS, but you're gonna see that it goes way faster in the beginning and then it slows down a lot. So this is the movement of the text, and now we're gonna make the movement of the camera. So press Shift A and select an empty and cube. And then right click the camera, and then after that the empty cube, Control P and separate the object. Now if I rotate the cube, the camera will follow. So this makes it so that I can have, like, let's say I want to rotate it around the text, then I can do it like this and I have it follows the text, if you know what I mean. So for this, pretty much what you're gonna do is you're gonna go to like pretty much frame number 190, and you're gonna not have this. It's gonna have that to rotation, because that is all we need. And press the keyframe there. Then go to 275 and press R, Z. Rotate it about to this angle. Press the keyframe there, then go to the last frame and rotate it again on the Z axis, and make sure it's like 90 degrees, as you can see here. And press that keyframe. So that is all you need to do with the camera. For now. Alright, so now we're just gonna jump into compositing for a little while. Just before we go in and make the compositing, we're just gonna make sure that we have the background scene ready to go. So make a new scene and select Cycles Render, go to the world settings, select new, next to the palette, press environment texture, and open up the clouds PNG and set the strength to 0.1. Now go to render settings of this, set to 100%, 30 FPS, and just make sure the sampling is 1, because it doesn't matter. Now let's go into compositing for the first scene. Then press use nodes. What you want to do here is you're going to add color hue saturation value on this. Just render it out first. So we have a rendered picture. and then just gonna set the saturation to 1.218, and that looks a lot better, more powerful green. Then just add a filter, glare, and set it to fogler. Set the threshold to 0.1, size to 8, and medium resolution. Now you're gonna wanna add a alpha over in the color. And make sure this goes in the bottom input. Then we're gonna go over to this, shift duplicate that, and set it to be scene 001. We're gonna have to render that out later, but just put that in there. And alright, we need to add the camera in scene 001. So just go to scene, the default scene, select the empty and the camera, and press Ctrl L, just scene 001, and go down, just quickly render it up one time, and then you can go back into Compositing. Sorry for that noise, just forgot to do that. Now we're gonna fix the color of the background, so add a color balance node. The first value to be pretty much red, second to be somewhere in the middle, and the third to be somewhere in the middle as well. And now it looks a lot more red than it should be, but don't worry about that. For now, we're just gonna add a color and hue saturation value node. So now we're gonna set the hue to 0.791. That will make it pretty green, and saturation to 1.036, just a bit more saturated, and the value to 0.236 to make it darker. Alright, that's pretty much that. Now we're gonna add a color correction node to fix the colors just a bit more. So go under color and select color correction. Now we don't need to tamper with all of these values, just the saturation shadows, set that to 0.26. That's it. Let's set that to 1.26. Just like that. Then you're gonna wanna set the master gain to 0.5. And that is it for that one. Now we're gonna add some images. So what you're gonna want to do, you can drag this over a bit, add a color mix node and set it to lighten. Now down here we're gonna add input image. So in this one we're gonna open the shockwave. Let's set the starting frame to 92 and the frames to about 100 is enough. Now just connect that to lighten. You can go to frame where it's going to be visible, so set it to about frame 100. It should be popping up. Yep. There it is. And now it looks pretty distant, far away. So what we're gonna wanna do is we need to add a glare node. I'm not gonna make it bigger. You could also do that with a scale node if you want to, but I'm not gonna do it now. So fog glow, threshold to 0 and the size to 7. And that should make it a bit popping out a bit more, looking a bit cooler. That goes in the lighten mode, and then pretty much we're gonna take this, we'll shift duplicate it and place here. And we got that going. And now all that's left is to add the vignette and the 2 letterboxes and animate them. So to make that, we're gonna add 3 alpha overnodes after each other and 3 image inputs. Place the one of these two a bit more down, because we're gonna have a translate node in the middle of those, like this. And then just connect all of these to the alpha overnodes. There. Now open in the first one, we're gonna open the vignette. Just gonna make it a bit darker in the edges, like that, because that looks pretty cool. And then we're gonna open the vignettes, the letterboxes, one by one. Then, for the top letterbox, go to frame 1. And set the Y value to 100, and for the bottom one, set it to -100. And press I by hovering above those values, then go to frame 75. Or something around there. And set this one to -175. Press I on that. And the second one to 175. Now go to frame 92. Or just frame 90, by the way. And set it to -420. And this one to 420. And set the keyframe for those. And that is all of the compositing that we're gonna have to do for this. You can go back into default view and make sure you go to the default scene. So now all that's left to do is to make some noise on the camera, so we got a little bit of shakes going on. So now we're gonna get the rotations done. So just drag this out to split the view and set this to graph editor. And we're gonna get this only has rotation, so let's go over here and set the location as well, and just take a random keyframe just to get the location here too. There we go. Oh yeah, we're gonna wanna have it on the camera, not on the empty. So let's just make sure we have rotation here too, by setting a rotation keyframe somewhere as well. So begin by going on the Y rotation and add modifier, noise, scale to a 10, and the strength to 0.1. Leave the opposite at 0, just reset. Frame rate, set it between 1 and 92. And then add another noise modifier. Set the scale to 1 here, as it is by default, and 0.1. The offset still 0, but now it's gonna be from 92 until 122. Then add a third noise and set the scale to to 20. And this to 0.3. Leave the offset at 0, starting at 92 and ending at 306. Now press this little icon to copy these modifiers and go to the Z location and paste them. And what we're gonna want to change here is the first one, take it up to 0.3 on the strength, and the last one make it 1, and on the second set the out fade out to 10, and the third you want to set the out fade out to 20. You can just go now over to the X. Oh wait, by the way, set the offsets to about minus 20 on all of these. And on the paste them on the X location as well. And they do the same things here. 0.3 on the first one, the second one 10 fade out, and the last one 1 in strength, and fade out 20. And here you're gonna set the offset to about plus 20. This is just to make sure that they don't go in the same direction at the same time. And that is it, so you can just now take that away. Select your output folder where you want it to end up. And of course set the name. For this one to tutorial. Accept that. And of course set it to AVI JPEG or whatever you think is good. For Mac users, I have seen that OGG Theora is very good. Set the sampling to about 50, because that is the best for this intro, to make sure that you don't get any noises in the intro itself. And that is pretty much it. Now you just render animation at it, and it will begin to render. I hope you enjoyed this intro tutorial. Subscribe for more. This took me quite a bit of time to do, so I hope you like this, and I'm gonna be giving up some templates in the next weeks, so stay tuned for that, and of course, see you in the next video. Bye!